Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that, let's be honest, affects pretty much all of us, whether we like it or not: stress. Okay, let's get right into it.
I mean, seriously, who hasn't felt that? That constant pressure from your job, from school, just from life. It's such a common feeling, it's practically universal. But what if I told you that feeling is also one of the most studied parts of our modern lives?
And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Researchers all over the world are trying to get past just the feeling of being stressed out to actually understand and measure it. So that's our starting point today. How do we turn this huge, overwhelming feeling into something we can actually get a handle on?
To really wrap our heads around stress, we have to look at it like scientists do. It's not just having a bad day or feeling overwhelmed. Nope, it's something you can actually observe and, believe it or not, quantify.
So check this out. You've got two sides of the same coin here. On the left, that's us. That's the subjective feeling we all know. But on the right, that's what researchers look at. They can measure cortisol, the famous stress hormone, right from your saliva to see what's happening in the moment. Or they can even look at a strand of your hair to see your stress levels over months. And they also have these standardized psychological tools.
And this is one of the big ones, the DAS-21 scale. Now, this isn't just asking, how are you feeling? It's a really specific questionnaire that helps put a number to our internal state. This is huge because it lets researchers track stress over time and across huge groups of people. It's basically making the invisible visible.
Okay, so if we can measure stress, who are we actually measuring it in? This brings us to a really important point. Just how widespread is this whole experience and who's feeling it the most?
Well, the short answer is pretty much everybody. I mean, just look at this list. It's wild. The research covers this incredible range, from students buried in exams and tennis players feeling the heat of competition, to frontline workers like nurses and cops, and even caregivers and the elderly. Stress really, truly does touch every corner of our society.
And this quote right here points to something super important. Scientists almost never look at stress in a vacuum. Just like you see here, they study how it's all tangled up with other vital parts of our health. Things like our personal resilience, how well we sleep, and our overall sense of well-being. It's all connected.
So if stress is everywhere, what's it actually doing to us? Right, this next part is all about mapping out the real-world impacts, showing how different kinds of pressure can lead to different kinds of problems.
This table really draws some clear lines for us. The research shows that something like the isolation we all felt during the pandemic wasn't just a bummer, it was directly linked to worse sleep. Workplace burnout isn't just a buzzword, it's tied to actual physical exhaustion. Making these connections is totally key to understanding the true cost of stress.
And the data backs this up big time. Take a look at this chart from one study. The #1 predictor of stress? Sleep disturbance. And it's a vicious cycle, right? Stress pumps up your cortisol, which messes with deep restorative sleep. And when you don't get that good sleep, the part of your brain that handles emotional regulation gets worn out, which makes you even more sensitive to stress the next day. It's a powerful loop.
All right, so we know what stress is, who it hits, and the damage it can do. That all might sound a little bit grim, I know. But here's the good news. The research doesn't stop at just defining the problem. It also points to solutions. So let's start building a toolbox for how to fight back.
Think of this as a whole collection of different tools, and each one has research backing it up. You've got these internal practices like mindfulness and yoga, but also external ones like just going and looking at art. There are even super active approaches like problem-focused coping, which is all about tackling the source of the stress head-on. The main takeaway is that there are a lot of different paths to take.
But this is science, and it's never a perfectly straight line, which is what makes it so interesting. Here you have two different studies on mindfulness, and they got different results. One didn't find a big change, but the other found a major improvement. Now, this doesn't mean science is broken. It just means that context is everything. Who's in the study, what kind of therapy it is, all those little details really matter.
And sometimes, the research finds solutions in some pretty unexpected places. Get this. One study tracked people on vacation and found that a group that went on a golf trip saw their stress symptoms drop by almost 44%. It's a great reminder that managing stress isn't always about quiet meditation. Sometimes it's about getting active and just having fun.
Okay, for our last section, let's talk about maybe the most powerful tool of all. And it's one you don't need any special equipment for. It's all about how we think about stress itself.
So here's the critical idea. Our mindset is like a filter. The exact same event can feel like a complete catastrophe to one person and a manageable challenge to another. It all comes down to how we appraise it. And the research is clear. Building up optimism and resilience can fundamentally change our relationship with the things that stress us out.
And here is a perfect, real-world example of that mindset shift in action. A study found that when autistic people focused on using their unique personal strengths, their stress levels were lower. It's about leaning into what you do well, shifting your focus from what's hard to what you're good at. Honestly, that's a powerful strategy for anyone.
And that really brings us to this final thought. Maybe this endless chase for a totally stress-free life is kind of a trap. What if instead the real goal is to build the resilience, the tools, and the mindset to meet stress when it shows up, to handle it, and maybe even learn something from it? Definitely something to think about.